It is time for the discussion you have all been waiting for. It is time for me and my good friend Ender50 to talk about the Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017 on the Nin-Cast.
Hey everyone, this is Logan589XP here for the first true video of 2017 because I'm not really going to count the stream because that's basically just an upload, archive, whatever. And today, 2 weeks later, because of issues, we're finally doing a discussion on the presentation plus some extra stuff that's been announced after that point, like the Fire Emblem Direct or any small details, you know, basically what's new about the Switch so far, I guess we'll just call this. And once again, we have Ender here because it's a lot more interesting and it's a lot longer when he's in here.
Yeah.
For better and worse. We'll see how long this one ends up being.
Yeah.
So, let's begin, I guess.
Alrighty.
So, I guess we should actually, no. Well, first, what's our general impressions on the Switch so far? Like, what?
I think. Can I start off first, or you want to start off?
You can go.
Okay. So my first impression of the Switch, I'm impressed. I'm glad that Nintendo is finally moving on from the Wii brand. Like seriously, I'm glad.
Yeah, the Wii brand is dead in the water. It's associated with negativity. They needed to ditch that thing.
Yep, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad. Another positive thing about the Switch is the free, there's no re-unlocking. The first time on Nintendo home console. But if you count
thank God it's region free.
I know. They're finally listening to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. The lineup seems strong. Like for this year, well, not like the launch lineup. Well, I mean,
not the launch lineup, but yeah, the 2017 lineup, basically.
Yeah. The only good game that's releasing alongside the Switch is like Breath of the Wild, but I don't know about 1-2 Switch, and like Skylanders and Just Dance are just meh, and not even worth the time to actually invest your time in.
So yeah, that's one of the little annoying things, but yeah. So for me, if we go I think I might have talked about this last time. If I didn't, I'll just talk about it now. When the Switch was first revealed back in October, I'll admit the second I saw that it was, the rumored hybrid, a piece of me kind of died a little because I was so convinced it was going to be an actual, console, and it was gonna be like a PS4. Okay, maybe not PS4 Pro, but it was gonna be like PS4 level specs. It was going to be a regular console with a regular controller, and then the second I saw it wasn't that, I kind of died a little. But then when I saw what they actually did with the hybrid idea, I'm like, you know what, I don't care anymore. Just give me games. Just give me the games. Give me the system right now. So I completely basically. I mean, at this point, I don't care about any of the specs or anything. I just want the games. Just give me the games.
Yeah, the games are the most important thing, not the specs or I don't know, graphics. Because graphics are, just a tiny spec of what the game truly is. The gameplay is what matters.
For me, as long as it's HD, I don't really care that
Yeah.
much. I mean like
As
the
long-
3DS. I don't really like the 3DS because it's like it's 6 years old and it's showing its age. Anyways, back to the Switch. But yeah, so I mean, when I saw like the Joy-Cons, for example, I'll admit they were kind of reminding me of everyone's like, oh, it's the Wiimote 2.0, it's the Wiimote 2.0. Well, they are kind of like the Wiimote, but at the same time they kind of aren't. But I mean, just in general, so far I basically have not that much negative to say about the Switch except for like one thing. We're gonna get into that later. But yeah, point is, basically my thoughts on the Switch. It looks pretty good for the most part. We'll just go with that.
Our thoughts on it are positive so
Like-
far.
Like positive, it's like what do you mean exactly?
Like well, our opinion on the console, like we think it's good. Like you know, like the way they like handled it, like the handheld feature and how region locking, like there's no region locking.
Oh yeah. So I would say like, okay, if we had to go with like my favorite thing about the system and the thing I hate the biggest thing I like about it, the
Love
biggest
it.
thing I don't like about it, or something like that, I could tell you what that is. Well, I think the biggest thing about the Switch I like is, of course, the fact that it's no longer region locked. Thank you, Nintendo, for finally joining the 21st century. And what's cool is that people are speculating that if they're gonna make it region free, that it would just be like the carts. Like you could just buy a Japanese cart and you could put it in and it would work. But you couldn't access the eShop or anything. But from what so far, from what we know, from what we've heard, it sounds like according to even Nintendo, it says you can make up to 8 Nintendo accounts, and you can change and you can pick the region of that Nintendo account when you make it.
That's great.
So just make a
different-
Japanese account, and boom, you get access to the Japanese eShop. Because they even said that what eShop you have is determined by what Nintendo account you're signed into and what region that Nintendo account is assigned to. So yeah, just make a Japanese Nintendo account and then sign into that when you want to go to the Japanese eShop. Problem solved. Thank you, Nintendo.
Thank you.
We get
Finally joined us.
So it's truly region free in every way, basically. Heck, even Aonuma said that you can change the system language to Japanese. Like every language is included in every
Awesome.
Switch. Like it really is region free. But you know what's cool about that? If they ever release a limited edition Switch that's only in Japan that has an awesome design, you can just import it and then boom, you don't have to worry about it being Japanese only or anything. Just sign to your US account, set the language to English, problem solved. It just works like any other Switch.
Yep.
You don't have to deal with that stupid problem of the Japanese systems always getting the better colors and the better designs, and we don't get them, but we can't do anything about it. No, we just import them and boom, no problem solved. Just change the system language or whatever. And so it's like, seriously, truly region free. That's awesome. Seriously, I cannot emphasize that.
Express how happy I am that Nintendo finally gave that to us.
And what's kind of
It's just
funny is at the event, Kinoshima's like, in the past, Nintendo home consoles have been region locked to whatever region you buy them in. Well, we've revised our approach. I like how he said it like that. We've revised our approach.
I like how he said that.
It's just kind of funny. And from now on, and the Switch will not be region locked. Seriously, the way he said that, we are changing our approach. It just sounds so. It's like, AKA, our fans kept complaining. We're just gonna give it to them. That's basically what you're just saying.
Yep.
In a very PR polite type way.
Yeah.
Now, as for the thing I hate about the Switch the most, it's not really a Switch specific issue, and it is for right now. It might not be in the future, and that is, of course, if there's one thing I was disappointed about the Switch, it easily has to be the fact that eventually we're gonna have to pay for online. That shouldn't be a surprise. It really shouldn't, but for some reason I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't like paying for online as it is, but a lot of people definitely don't want to pay for online for a Nintendo system. Which
Yep.
my initial response was, okay, well, this kind of makes sense. I mean, Nintendo wants that money that Microsoft and Sony is getting from PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold, so I mean, it was kind of inevitable. But people really didn't like that idea, and there's that whole confusion with like the fact that. Then there's that whole confusion about how the online system's going to actually work and stuff like that. But even just ignoring that, the fact that you have to pay it all is kind of annoying. But we also don't know what the price is going to be. I mean, for like Xbox Live, for example, I just do like the $50, $60 a year thing. I don't pay per month. I just pay for it all once and then get it over.
No, I just do. Well, I started 1 year, so basically, a year, 12 months.
Yeah. Actually, what's kind of funny is that this whole paid online thing got me worried. I was like, oh, great. I'm going to have to pay for online for all my different accounts. That's what I thought at first. But then, because, it's like, oh, great, do I have to pay for online on my English account and my Japanese account? And if I really want to, a European account, would I have to pay for online for all three of those? But then I remember, oh, that's right, region free. So, because I was thinking that you can only play the Japanese games on your Japanese account, but no, of course they're not going to do that. It's because region free, so I just buy the games or buy the DLC or whatever on the Japanese account, sign into my American account, problem solved. That was kind of a worry for me. I thought I was going to have to pay for online for 3 or 4 different accounts. I was like, nope, that's not happening. And it basically defeats because I mean, if I couldn't play online on my other games without paying for separate accounts, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. Then why even bother putting region free in there? I'm not paying for all these different accounts. I mean, I probably would realistically, but I mean, I really wouldn't want to.
Yeah, same.
But, yeah, that's not really a big issue. And there's all this confusion about how like voice chat and the friends list is gonna work. From what I have gathered so far, I think everyone's just overblowing this whole, oh my god, you have to use a phone app for everything. No, you don't. I know for a fact you don't, because even Nintendo wouldn't do that. That's just stupid. The Wii U didn't make you do that. That had the friends list. That had a join game. That was about it. But it had that stuff built onto the console. You didn't need an app for it. I mean, why would they do that? It doesn't make sense. I think how it's going to work is that you can use the app, but you don't have to use it. Like, it's an optional thing. Because after all, I mean, even as even Reggie pointed out, well, when you're on the go, you don't want to carry around a clunky headset. Okay, well, I get the idea behind the app if you're on the go. If you're playing games online, like some Wi-Fi lounge somewhere or whatever. Okay, I get that, but what about the 95% of people that realistically just going to have it sitting in the dock the whole time? That just want to use it on their regular... Because, I mean... Because I've already heard all the people are like, I don't care about the handheld component. I'm just going to have it sit in the dock 24/7. So, well, first things first, and people already made the jokes, oh, even Nintendo has a headphone jack. Well, that stuff, because, there's a headphone jack on there, and according to some listing on Nintendo of UK's website, it can be used for voice chat and stuff like that. And from what I have heard, apparently also in that recent thing and some other updated online details on like their websites, at the very least, the friends list will be on the console. I'm sure everything else will be there. The only thing that might not be on there is the voice chat, but I'm going to say, and people have even pointed this out, but at this point, why do people care so much about the voice chat? I mean,
when you have Discord or Skype.
Exactly. It's like you have these other programs, and everyone keeps talking about how much better, well, at least Discord. Like, oh, just use Discord, don't use anything else. So why are we complaining about this? I think it's probably because people are I don't think it's for private chat. Like, it's like for public chat. Okay. Yeah, do you really want to do that? We all know what public voice chat is like these days. It's just like some 8-year-old screaming the same stuff. Like, I don't want, like, why would you want to do that? I'm not saying everyone does that, but most people are not very nice on public voice chat. So why you should be? I mean, I think maybe people are like, oh, Nintendo's protecting the kids. Well, the fact they're gonna have voice chat at all proves that they're not just trying to protect the kids or whatever. It's just like there's gonna be public voice chat. I mean, it was there. Yeah. Well, what's that? I mean. the voice chat is going to be there. I don't think the question is if there's going to be voice chat. It's the question of if it's tied to the app or not. I don't think it is. I think that most of the online function, at least all the essential ones, you can use on the console itself, and then you can just use the app if you want.
Yeah.
But long story short, this all really just boils down to the fact that you have to pay for it. Like, you didn't like. Now, what's funny is that basically what Nintendo is doing is, well, I was gonna say the complete opposite. No, it's basically like the same way. Where like, what's the main reason you would buy a PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold? Multiplayer. Yeah, you have the free games per month, which we'll get into later. There's a whole thing about that as well. And then there's the free games per month. There's the discounts, yippity doo. But what's the number one reason you buy that for online? Well, Nintendo's doing that same thing where basically you have every single function of the Switch except for online multiplayer. Like, if you just like have a free online account, you can use voice chat, you can use the eShop, you can send messages, you can access everything except for online. So basically, you have to buy it. I've heard people say that they don't really care because they don't play online games on like their Nintendo systems, and I'm like, yeah, well, I do. Like, if you just play like single player games, then that's one thing. But I play Smash, I play Splatoon, I need online.
Same here. Online is key.
I think another thing that'll be key is to see like how good or bad is the Switch's online going to be, because the idea is hopefully that, well, since they're paying for it now, that must mean they're making it better, right? Well, so far it seems like it. I mean, the fact they're going to have full voice chat and they're going to have messages. Finally, by the way, you know how useful having messages would have been on the Wii U? Like, I mean, and like just a little pop up in the corner where it says like this person sent you a message. That's all. Like if I wanted to play with someone and they didn't have Skype or Discord or anything like that, and they only had the Wii U, I could just send them a message and it would pop up on their screen. But you can't do that on the Wii U. You can invite someone to a game and join their game. And that's it. That's all you can do. You can't send a message. So basically, if you want to communicate with them, you're just gonna have to hope and pray that they join your match, or you have some other form of communication.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, that wouldn't be an issue in most cases, but just having the option there, I mean, I don't really care that much about the messages or the voice chat, any of that stuff, because 95% of the time I'm gonna be on Skype or Discord anyway, but people obviously care about it, or people wouldn't be talking about it this much. Let's just hope that... The point is, I'm going to pay for the online because I don't have any choice, but I do hope that it's better than the Wii U. Personally, I didn't really have that many problems with the Wii U's online. And when I say online, I mean like the actual, like the services. Like, I didn't really mind that much that there wasn't really voice chat or anything. The biggest complaint I think the real thing is they just have to make their servers better. Like a good example is Smash. I don't have like the LAN adapter, which by the way, the Switch's dock doesn't have an Ethernet port on it for some reason, so you're gonna have to buy an adapter for it. Yippity doo. But basically, Nintendo needs to improve their servers so the games don't lag as much. Particularly Smash. Every other game runs fine. It's really just Smash that needs improving when it comes to lag. Like, if you try and play a public match on Smash Wii U, it's a lag fest half the time. And don't get me started on the 3DS versions online. Like, it's just like, Smash is online in general, unless you're playing, like, with a friend, and, like, a 1v1 match, and you both have good connections, it basically sucks. It's laggy, there's input lag, there's too much skipping and input lag. It's not really all that playable. But if they're putting some money towards better servers and better connections and stuff, then that would be great. Mario Kart runs fine, Splatoon runs fine, all the other games run fine. It's really just Smash that needs improving.
Yep.
Okay, so that's basically covers the online. Okay, what's next? I guess we could talk about... I don't know. Let's talk about, like... the controllers or something.
Oh, the controllers.
That'd be next.
Okay.
Like, when I say controllers, I mean like just controllers in general. because I mean, there's
Yeah.
obviously, obviously it'll be mainly about like the Joy Cons and stuff. But so you want to go first?
I'll let you go first this time.
Okay then. So the main controller for the Switch, which we already knew about, but we got more. We got to see more what it can do. Yeah, we got more information on it. We know some of the stuff that's in it, what the buttons are, and stuff like that. So, yeah, the Joy-Con is, it's basically the main controller for the Switch. Now, at first, like I said before, it kind of seems like a Wii remote, like a smaller Wii remote, but it's not. Okay, well, one, you can't point it at the screen, at least as far as I know, you can't. You can't. Unless they have some, like, sensor bar adapter or something. So that's kind of one thing. Is like, oh, well, what if they wanted to port over some like Wii games or something? Well, they might have to change that up. Because I was actually wanting, because people were talking about like if they made like a Super Mario Galaxy HD like remastered thing for like the Wii U or something. Well, they can't really do it on. Well, they can't really do it on the Switch unless they change the control layout.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so yeah. Now, there are actually some really cool features about the Joy-Con. Now, one that a lot of people don't like is the fact that, for as far as we know, and from what people that have demoed it have said, it does have digital triggers, which means that could be an issue for, say, GameCube Virtual Console support. But I mean, realistically, they could just probably slightly change the game so you wouldn't rely that heavily on the analog triggers, or they could just. Or but let's be realistic. If you're gonna be playing GameCube Virtual Console, what controller are you going to be using? A GameCube controller, because obviously they haven't said it yet, but it's 99.9% guarantee that the GameCube adapter is going to be compatible with the Switch at some point. Whether it's when GameCube Virtual Console support comes out, or whenever Smash for Switch comes out, it's going to be compatible. So So if you're gonna play a GameCube game, just even if they now, I get the idea. Well, what if you want to play GameCube games on the go? Well, as people made those like little fan pictures of different controllers, just like they could just release that like GameCube Joy-Con controller thing that I've seen like they did with the fan art. So you just do that or something, or just let you use the Joy-Cons or the Pro controller, or whatever. Like if they have digital triggers, that doesn't make the game unplayable.
Yeah, that would make the game unplayable.
I mean, unless you are playing like F-Zero or something, does the game really rely on analog triggers that much? Basically. I mean, they could probably just program the game a little differently or something. I don't know. Or they could just make it so you have to use the GameCube adapter. I don't know. They'll find a way to get around that issue.
They'll find a way around that.
What?
They'll find a way around it.
Yeah. They'll find a way around it. And now, one thing that I've been wondering ever since the thing was revealed was how the heck are you supposed to play a game with just like the Joy-Con on its side? Like, it still sounds so weird. Like even just Mario Kart, you can like people are like, oh well, with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you can take the controller off and have 2-player, whatever you want. Well, isn't that gonna be really weird? Okay, I think the idea is you use like the motion controls, like with the Wii wheel type thing, where like you like move it with the controller. Yeah. I'm guessing that's the main idea, because if you're talking about the buttons, I'm like, actually, now I think about it, it's Mario Kart, so using the buttons probably wouldn't be that hard. It's really,
be that hard.
Like, I can only imagine, like how the heck are you going to be able to play Smash with one of those things? This one, I'm curious.
Yeah, how are you going to play Smash when, controller buttons are so off?
I mean, like, one, the controller is, I think, maybe it's not smaller, but, like, it's shorter than the Wii remote, which was already a controller that most people would consider terrible for Smash. Unless you're my brother, he somehow does insanely well with it. But unless you're my brother, the Wii remote sucks for Smash. Never mind the Joy-Con. Now, the one benefit I'll give the Joy-Con is that it has an actual stick and not a D-pad, so that will probably help when it comes to Smash. But I don't know, just like, well, then again, if I remember correctly, for the Joy-Con, like if you have them like separated, you just have one Joy-Con. There's like 2 extra like LR and I think they're called SL and SLR buttons. I think S for Switch, whatever. So like there are technically L and R buttons, quote unquote, on the thing, and there's also, and of course, there's still the buttons you have on the side, the Z and the ZL or ZR. there's technically enough buttons. It's just gonna be really weird to play. And granted, of course, I haven't even touched the Joy-Con. I haven't gotten to use the Switch in any capacity. I haven't, I'm not Abdallah or any of the or Rogers Base where I get to go to all the freaking Nintendo events or anything. Like, I haven't used the Joy-Con in any form, but I would just imagine playing Smash, and I think it's gonna be really weird. But I don't know. If Sakurai could figure out a way to play Smash with the Wii Remote, I'm sure he could find a way to get it to work with the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Just by itself. But realistically, if you're gonna use a Joy-Con, I think and most people are probably just gonna, unless you're playing like ARMS or something like that, then you're just gonna be using like in the grip, which basically just makes a regular controller, basically for the most part. Although, one thing that is kind of weird is that the grip doesn't actually do anything. Like, it's just like a piece of plastic, or well, maybe not a piece of plastic, but like it doesn't charge. Like that was like a thing. Like, how are you gonna charge the Joy-Cons?
Yeah, how are you gonna charge the? I know, like you can put them on the you can put the console on the dock with the Joy-Cons. The question is, the Joy-Cons are out of the dock, so how are they even charging?
I actually don't. Actually, I'm gonna just in the middle of this. I'm just gonna actually quickly look up like what the heck do the Joy-Con, like, is there a USB port on the Joy-Cons at all, or do you just have to charge them? Or like, or you literally just have to... Yep, if I search up Joy-Cons, the first thing that shows up is the Joy-Cons. Let's see, joycon.com. Okay, let's see. Joy-Cons versus PlayStation Move. Okay, let me go to the websites. Do I have like 1,000 different pictures of everything? It probably picked up that click sound. Let's see. Where is it? Features. What the? This is Joy-Con. Is what it says on the website. Oh, okay. Wow. Apparently, parental controls is going to be an app. Like, that's going to be an app, apparently. Okay. Where the heck? Okay. And there's that whole, like, video they put out that people have already made a bunch of different things of. But I haven't actually seen the video. I just saw all the people retweeting their own different little variations of it. Okay, why can't I find any...
video with Bowser and Bowser Jr. That one's great.
Yeah, that's the one that... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Such a weird idea. Okay, why the heck can't... Huh. What's funny is that it says right here, dock your Nintendo Switch and play in HD. You can play in HD on the Switch itself.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not 1080p, but it's HD.
The Switch itself is well, the dock is 1080, but like when you take it out of the dock, it goes down to 720 60 FPS. Well, it's on the dock, it's 1080p by 60 FPS. Yeah,
so I kind of hoped that it would. Okay, from what we know, like the dock itself, at least the current dock is like HDMI 1.4, which means that it's basically 1080p only. I was hoping that it would be HDMI 2.0, so it could like have a 4K upscale mode. Like, of course, this thing wouldn't be able to run games at 4K, but just like upscale to 4K for like Netflix or something. But nope, at least not yet. Of course, they could. I mean, one thing that's awesome about the Switch being a portable and having these docks is that they could just make more powerful docks in the future. So the whole problem with, the Switch won't be able to run modern games. Well, if that was that, well, they could just make a dock that plays the games. You'd have to have the dock, but I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, they could just make a more powerful dock with the new thing. Like they could put like a newer version of HDMI. They have the Ethernet port. They could put like a graphics system, like a GPU in there. Like basically, that's what's cool about it. Is basically, they can make infinite upgrades to the Switch. If they really
without
to.
making a new console, just new upgrades.
The only problem is that they would eventually, at some point, they would well, at least for third-party games, they would probably have to make it so that you could only use you could only play the games on the Switch if it's in the dock. That would be like if you wanted to play, what's a demanding game? I don't know, Battlefield 1, for example. That game probably would not run that well. It'd be like 720p 30 FPS or lower on the Switch by itself. But if they had a GPU powered dock, you could run the game properly. But then they would probably have to lock it down, so you have to play it on the dock. You can't play it in portable mode or something like that. But once again, that's still better than nothing.
True.
I'll take a. Because I mean, even I'll admit, as cool as the hybrid functionality is, that I am gonna use it. It's not gonna kill me if I have to hook it up to, oh no, my monitor to play a game. When 95% of the time, if I'm playing a game, I'm gonna be playing it on this monitor anyway. And besides, if it, yeah. And anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, well, oh yeah, Joy-Cons. Yeah, I'm just gonna look. Joy. Images. I'm not gonna bother with the Nintendo website. I'm just gonna look for like what was let's see, Joy-Con. A virtual boy.
Oh,
Joy.
they're bringing that back. That
I'm
was
gonna-
a fail.
like,
Commercial fail right there.
I'm just like seeing like a little thing, like someone like made like a Joy-Con design from the Virtual Boy's controller. Okay, whatever. If I search up Joy-Con, for some reason I'm getting a bunch of images of one of those things from like Inside Out or whatever. For some reason, what the? Okay, why can't I find images of? Okay, here we go. That's more like it. Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. Come on, I can find images of everything but what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I forgot. The Joy-Con has like those little like strap thingies. You know, throwback to the Wii remote again. So you got like little wrist straps for them as well.
Yep.
But and they also make it so you can use the buttons a lot, like the two like shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
That makes them easier to use.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I cannot find a picture of this. I know people. I've seen them on. I've seen. Oh, here we go. Here's one of them. Come on, show up here. Okay, so there's an SL and SR button, a sync button, and then a player LED. There's no USB on it. So yeah, that means you're gonna have to charge it through the dock, or you're gonna have to get the $30 chargeable grip if you want to charge them. But what the heck is what's the battery life for the Joy-Cons by themselves? I can't imagine it's that bad.
Yeah, I would imagine around like, I don't know if this is too long, but I say 6 hours or something. I honestly don't know.
I swear I heard it was gonna be 10 hours. I swear I heard that somewhere.
That's actually really good. Not gonna lie.
I mean, they're controllers, and so they shouldn't. I mean, like we know that the Switch Pro controller is gonna be 40 hours, which is a little disappointing because the Wii U Pro controller was 80 hours. But I mean, 40 hours is still 40 hours, and realistically, you're gonna be charging it a lot anyway. So who cares? It's not gonna be a problem anyway.
Yeah.
George, most of the battery life concerns on the Switch are all about like the system itself, like the battery life for that. Which, by the way, I think according to Nintendo, it can last up to 6 hours. I think with the stock battery.
6 hours.
And then they said for Breath of the Wild, you can expect about 3 on like the default brightness or whatever.
3. Because that's a bigger game and that takes up more, you know.
Yeah. Like if you were playing like Shovel Knight, I'm sure that would last the full 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah. It's not too big of a game.
Yeah, like indie games or smaller games just in general would probably be fine. I bet even Skyrim would run fine as far as battery life goes. I mean, from what we actually know is that apparently on Nintendo's like one of like the European websites, apparently there was like a listing for Skyrim and it did say it was the special edition. Because a lot of people were like, "Is it gonna be the special edition or like the original one from 2011?" No, it's definitely the special edition. Even if we didn't have that listing, the gameplay they showed us at the presentation has the same the same graphics as like the one that's on the Xbox One, the PS4. So, it is definitely the special edition, not the original one.
Yep.
It's weird because I'm like the one person here that doesn't really care about Skyrim. Everyone's played it except for me. I don't really care about Elder Scrolls.
You're not the only one, Logan.
I know I'm not the only one, but it feels like I'm the only one because it's like everyone on the planet has played Skyrim and everyone loves it, and I'm like, I don't really care. Although, if I'm gonna play it, I guess getting the Switch version would probably be a nice way to do it because I could play it anywhere if I really wanted. But
Like, I guess then we'll probably get into the series. Play it.
okay, I'm really okay. What was it? Oh yeah, the Joy-Cons. Yeah, this. Yeah. You have to. So yeah, you have to either charge it via the dock when you have the Switch in, or if you buy that $30 grip. Oh, speaking of the grip, let's talk about the prices for all the other controllers and add-ons and stuff. Because this is one of those times where I'll drop my. Admittedly, like I have like the inner Nintendo fanboy in me wants to be like, it's not that big of a deal, but you know what? I don't like the idea of paying $80 for the Pro Controller or $80 for a Joy-Con. No. I know it's $50 for one Joy-Con and $80 for like a bundle with two. Why?
Oh my goodness.
The Pro Controller. The Pro Controller itself should be $50, and the Joy-Con should be like $20 or $30 each. Like, come on! Like, that's a lot more. That's a ripoff. I'm gonna say that right now. That strip is a ripoff. I'm probably not gonna need any more Joy-Cons. Like, maybe I'll buy like 2 more just for 4-player if I ever really need it. But I'm not gonna need like 8 Joy-Cons. Like, unless I want to do some kind of like Smash Bros. 8-player with Joy-Cons challenge or something. I'm not gonna need that. Actually, now that I think about it, since there's you can hook 8 switches up to each other locally, like you would on the 3DS or something like that.
Yeah.
And they have 2 Joy-Cons, so technically, if you really want to, you could have 16 players. You can have up to 16 players, which I know for Mario Kart, for example, they could easily do that. Even if they couldn't do 16, they could do up to 12. They could easily do up to 12. Like, I mean, how cool would that be? Like, 12 players locally?
Smash would go up to 12 or something, because I remember the Wii U version had 8 players, so they would probably advance the player rate for Smash on Switch.
Sakurai said that they, quote-unquote, barely got 8-player Smash to really... Like, 8-player Smash barely worked on the Wii U. Like, they just barely got it to work. I mean, the whole thing with that, stages cut different elements, and you couldn't use all the stages and stuff like that. Those were all like sacrifices they got to even run. But I mean, still, if you think about it, the Wii U can run 8-player Smash at 1080p at 60 FPS and never drop. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know the Wii U version was running at 1080p 60 FPS, but like frame rates would drop, right?
Actually, I never noticed a single frame rate drop in that game on any mode with any amount of players. The only time I think... there's only one singular time where I saw a frame drop. It was a long time ago, back in like March 2015, and I was doing 8-player Smash on Palutena's Temple. And there was a few small frame rate drops. And you know what's funny? Back then I actually called Nintendo of America, and I was like, this is unacceptable. How come the frame rate is dropping when it doesn't drop in any other mode on any other map? And I was like, Sakurai must know. That only happened that one time. Every other time I played that game on that map with 8 players, it never happened. So they probably just fixed it with a patch or something.
Yeah.
Basically, the Wii U version is rock solid in any mode and 1080p 60 FPS. So if they could do that on the Wii U, I'm guessing for the Switch version they're gonna at the very least let you use all the stages, all the different bosses and stuff. I'm guessing at 8 players. I would think at the very least they would have that, which I think would be good enough. Because I mean, do you really want to have 16-player or 12-player Smash?
Yeah, that would get too
people
chaotic.
already don't like that 8-player Smash. Well, some people don't like how 8-player Smash is already too chaotic as it is. Let's not increase... Maybe online or something, but... I mean, try playing... Okay, you know what's going to be funny? Trying to play 8-player Smash on just, like, the Switch thing itself. I'm sure I'll be better, because, I mean, last year, a few times I brought my Wii U to school, and we would actually play 8-player Smash on the gamepad screen, and that did not go very well because we could barely see each other. Not because it wasn't even really the screen, it's just the fact that the Wii U gamepad's resolution was like 480p, so that didn't really help.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Switch's screen is IPS and it's 720p, which Which, remember, 720p on a small screen looks great, so don't complain that it's only 720p. Point is, it's HD, so that's gonna help, but still,
Yeah.
8-player Smash on like, I'd say 4 or 5-player Smash tops, but I don't know. I haven't checked. Maybe that HD screen will really help, and maybe 8-player Smash will be playable. I didn't say it would be great. I just said it'd be playable, or you could play it and it would be good enough or something.
Yep.
I don't know, but okay. Wait, were we getting sidetracked? Oh yeah, the whole Joy-Con thing. So, oh yeah, the accessories. Actually, let me look up some of those accessories again. I'm curious. I want to find those. Like what? Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah. No, the Switch Pro controller is $70, and the Joy-Con, 2 of them, yeah, they're $80. The charging grip is $30. One Joy-Con left or right is Hey! What was that for? Anyways, so yeah, $50 for L or R. Charging grip is $30, which okay. And okay, here's what's interesting. You can buy extra docks, because I think I remember last time I talked about how I was gonna get like an extra dock, so I could have one in the living room and one in like my room. Well, that might be hard to do because apparently the Switch dock set, which has the HDMI cable, the power, all that stuff, is $90 for a dock. That's like $100 for a dock.
Seriously?
Like, are you like okay? That one, I'll let that one sort of slide only because it's the dock and it does have GPU power and you need it. Like, it's not a controller. It's like you don't need the dock technically. I mean, if you just want to use it as a handheld, by all means use it as a handheld. You don't have to hook it up to the dock ever. But you basically need the dock, so it's kind of annoying. Actually, now I think about it, that'd be like I heard people say they should make like a handheld only Switch bundle. Like if you don't care, if you just want to use it as a handheld, they could drop the price by like $100. That's $200 right there. That basically makes the 3DS obsolete because the 3DS is that same price. Basically, $200 for a Switch.
Like the 3DS is like 480p by 360p.
It's
and
like
the Switch is 720, 60 FPS.
Well, it's a 720p screen. Whether or not the games run at 60 FPS depends. But the screen itself is 720p.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would not be surprised. I mean, if something like because like like with the gamepad, they kept talking about how we would drop the price of the Wii U, but the gamepad is just so much money and you need it. Well, later in the lifespan, like a year or two from now, they can just drop the price of the Switch by removing the dock.
Yep.
Like, and then just have like it could be like a handheld only bundle or whatever. Like they can just do that.
Yep.
That would chop like $100 off the retail price right there, and that's not counting the fact that it'll probably cost less by then anyway. Like let's say that it drops to $250 like with the dock. It theoretically, like without the dock, it could be like $150. $150 for
that would be a good
that would
deal.
Fly
right
off the shelves. Like,
that would.
They should probably like throw in a game or two or a game or something. But
yeah.
But I'm sure by that point they'll have a game and all. Okay, now here's what's interesting. The Joy-Con wheel. The Joy-Con wheel includes 2 of them is only $15. It's the only thing on this entire list that's actually reasonably priced. You get 2 Joy-Con wheels for $15. I think it's even less than the Wii wheel was. And you get 2 of them, so that's actually a good deal. While the rest of these are all complete rip-offs.
Exactly.
Actually,
the
the Joy-Con grip. Actually, I might let the Joy-Con grip slide. That's only $30. It's not that bad. But the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller and the dock, those are rip-offs.
That's crazy. Rip-offs right there. Rip-offs.
They're all drop-in time anyway, or you can just get them used.
Yeah.
But still, it's just really weird.
Yeah.
Wait.
Really
if the Switch dock already is like $100, what the heck is a GPU like a real GPU powered dock gonna cost like $200? $200 just for
more.
Like what is that gonna cost? Like that doesn't sound like a good sign.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good business plan.
Now, granted, I'm sure if there was a GPU powered dock, it would go up. They would make it like really powerful, like I don't know, PS4 Pro levels or something like that. So that probably. So I mean, you're essentially getting a PS4 Pro upgrade, a PS4 Pro add-on for like $200.
Oh, and Nintendo. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, of course, by the time they would even consider GPU powered docks, like real GPU powered docks, not just like overclocking, but actual GPU powered docks.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the regular dock, the base dock, will come down to like $50 or something like that. So I'm sure it'll be like less by then anyway.
Yep.
And then maybe they'll just charge like $100 or $150 for the new one. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll have to wait and see.
But long story short, the controllers are overpriced. That's all you need to know. But at least Nintendo has the decency to include the regular grip in the system. I mean, imagine if you had to buy the grips separately. That'd be kind of annoying because you would basically have to that means you'd have to use the Joy-Cons like Wii remotes for regular games. And if you were playing them on the TV, like imagine playing Breath of the Wild with like 2 Wii remotes on each side. That's basically what it would be like. That'd be so weird. But then again, it has sticks in like the Xbox position, so maybe it wouldn't be as bad. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so I think we've talked about the hardware plenty. Why don't we get on to what's the biggest thing about the Switch and the reason why we're all buying it anyway? The games.
The games, yeah.
So, since I did the last one, why don't you do this one next?
Okay, I'll start off with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. It looks like a PS4 game or something. They're adding voice acting. Seriously, that's like a huge thing that they haven't done in the Zelda
Wasn't that
series.
something that a lot of people were like wanting for the longest time? And actually, what's cool is apparently, Aonuma said that every single cutscene in the game is gonna have voice acting, which would be cool, except for the fact that this is where like the whole region locking thing comes into question again, is because there's not gonna be dual audio with Breath of the Wild, at least at launch, which is like something that a lot of Japanese games have, and something that I've been wanting for the longest time in a certain other game. But basically, you can't have English subtitles and the Japanese voices at the same time, because a lot of people don't like Zelda's English voice. Which, I mean, but here's the one thing you gotta remember, it's region free, and I'm not saying you have to go buy the Japanese version either. I think even Aonuma said you could just change the system language to Japanese, which changes the actual game to Japanese, and therefore the voice acting to Japanese. So if you care that much, just change it to Japanese. You just can't have the English subtitles.
Yeah, you can't have the English subtitles. Which is kind of annoying, but I mean. Yeah.
It's like, they're taking like baby steps with this. Like, I'll take region free. Oh, whoopity doo, we don't get dual audio in a Zelda game. Woo hoo. I can survive without that. Although,
Same.
I don't know. Like for Yokai Watch, that matters to me way more than a Zelda game. I mean, Zelda games haven't even really had voice acting up to this point anyway. So it's like, well, unless you count a certain game that we will not discuss. But so it's like, real Zelda games don't really have voice acting.
Real Zelda games, not those fake PC Zelda games that we won't discuss.
That have their crappy animations and whatever. and quotable lines, whatever. Moving on. So yeah. But like, minus the whole dual audio controversy, Breath of the Wild, I mean, that game impressed me from day one. Like, I mean, it's a Zelda game, so of course I'm gonna like it. But I mean, like when we saw the first footage of it back at E3 2014, that game looked amazing. Like the lighting, and I remember he was talking about the whole, like, back then he was like, and if you could walk to those mountains in the background if you want, or something like that. Like, you can walk as far as the eye can see. Like, there's no limits. like that's pretty cool. Actually, but actually, that's something I did recently. I was actually
What?
curious because you know that whole thing nowadays where like games that like E3 footage always looks better than the final game. That
Yeah.
whole thing with Ubisoft and stuff. So I was curious. Okay, so how does Breath of the Wild from E3 2014 compare to the final Switch version? And the E3 trailer looks better. like the lighting looks better, but and it looks more bright. But aside from that, they look pretty close. But the E3 trailer does look better as far as
The one
lighting.
from 2014, right? Or the one that we got in the Switch presentation.
What?
The one from the E3 the E3 2014 trailer, right? That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about that one.
Oh.
Like I'm saying, that looks better than like the final Switch version.
Oh,
It's not a major difference, but like, the lighting looked a lot better in the first one. Then again, that was probably like a pre-rendered trailer, so maybe that's not it didn't look that pre-rendered, but they probably just touched it up, and I'm sure the trailer was running on their PCs and stuff, so I don't know. But
Yep.
but even still, Breath of the Wild, even on the Wii U, still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you see like those videos by like Digital Foundry where they zoom up on the textures, it's kind of like, but then you gotta remember that one, this is an open world game, and two, that at the end of the day, Breath of the Wild was built as a Wii U game, so it was built with the Wii U's limitations in mind. So you gotta lower your expectations a bit. But I mean, even then, the game still looks good. Like it still looks pretty good.
Really crisp.
You don't have to have 4K textures for it to be a good-looking game. I mean, Ni no Kuni looks great, and that's like Studio Ghibli. Like that stuff looks great. It doesn't have to have the highest resolution textures and the best
Graphics
lighting
don't matter.
and
Like
it doesn't have to have the best ever for. I mean, yeah. For what it is, it looks pretty good.
Okay.
That's basically my point.
Yeah,
It looks pretty good.
pretty good.
Considering what although, yeah, so I actually don't know that much about Breath of the Wild, and I'm doing that intentionally because I don't want to know that much about the game before I play
I
it.
want to play like plot free because I want to actually get to understand the story like once I play the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I really didn't want to know that. Like I wanted to know stuff about the game, but I didn't want know too much. I just wanted to know like the important stuff. Yeah, like I'm saving the experience for when I actually play it. Also, what's something? Oh yeah, Breath of the Wild. Now, what's that? Something about Breath of the Wild that actually speaking of graphics again, is what resolution it runs at is kind of a debate because Digital Foundry says it's 900p, but Aonuma says it's 1080p, and which it's kind of like it's like, well, Digital Foundry just examined the game, whereas Aonuma, he actually made the game. But at the same time, Digital Foundry are really good at what they do. I don't know. I don't really know who to believe, honestly.
Honestly, I would believe the creator.
Yeah, I want to believe him. I mean, I basically, like, to be fair, I don't know if he said native 1080p, but I'm pretty sure if he said 1080p, he meant 1080p. Because I mean, if the resolution wasn't 1080p, I'm sure he would have said it's 900p or something. Like if he yeah, and like for example, like Mario Kart 8, which we'll talk about later in a bit. That's a native 1080p 60 FPS. Like that's officially confirmed. It's all over their website. They advertise it's native 1080p. It's 1080p, not 720p, not 900p. Is 1080p. Whereas with Breath of the Wild, it's like we don't really know, but as long as they don't have that garbage anti-aliasing that they always put on Xbox One games that make them look worse than they really are, then I won't really mind. And chances are I don't think there's gonna be any anti-aliasing, which is a good thing because that just makes the games look worse if you don't put it in properly.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that. Like, I've played games at 900p on PC, and they look way, way, way better than 900p on a console because they don't use all that post-processing to hide the aliasing lines. that make it look a lot like, you know, everyone's like, oh, the Xbox One runs games at 900p. They look bad not because of 900p. I can vouch for that. The 900p is not the main issue. The main issue is the garbage anti-aliasing they use that blurs the image. That's the problem with it. If you don't use MSAA, then basically it just blurs the image. So yeah. But Nintendo's games like Splatoon, for example, that was 720p on the Wii U, and it didn't have any anti-aliasing. Which I'm sure they just mainly did just, you know, the 60 FPS because it's a shooter, so you want that 60 FPS. But I think that makes the game look more sharp, even if there's more lines all over the place. I don't really care as long as it's sharper. So, bottom line, if Breath of the Wild is 900p, it won't really matter because it's not going to have any anti-aliasing, so it won't have that garbage thing that makes it look blurrier. And besides, at the end of the day, if you're going to be playing it on the screen, you're not going to see the difference because, of course, the screen on the Switch itself is 720p anyway.
Yep.
You know, just actually, if anything, it'll downscale, so it'll look even better. Actually, no, it doesn't downscale because I forgot. When you're in handheld mode, it doesn't like down because like it doesn't downscale like it doesn't downscale from the higher resolution to 720p. No, it just renders the game at 720p. You know, to conserve battery power and stuff like that. Because I mean, you're not gonna see the difference anyway in theory. So why bother wasting the battery life?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, anyways, back to Breath of the Wild. We're getting sidetracked here. But,
yeah.
You know, bottom line, the game looks great, and it's the only good launch title at launch.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah. So, unless you care about hits like Skylanders and Disney
Just
Infinity. I almost said Disney Infinity. So, Just Dance. Or, well, 1-2 Switch could be half decent, but, you know, Breath of the Wild is the only real big game at launch.
Bomberman could be good, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, I actually kind of forgot about Bomberman. I don't know, he's been off the map for so long that you forget he even exists.
I forgot about his existence until they showed us his game in the lineup.
I wouldn't know who Bomberman is if it wasn't for Screw Attack. They're the only reason I even know what Bomberman even is, or that he was even a thing. Your mic is getting kind of laggy and cutting out again. Okay, yeah. Bottom line, Breath of the Wild's great. Moving on.
Yep.
What's next?
Or...
Well, I'm afraid we're all out of time here, so join us next time for part 2 of the Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017 discussion with me and Ender50, coming soon. This is Logan589XP, and I'll see you guys next time.